Chairman, let me begin by thanking both of you personally, Ambassador Leaf and Assistant Secretary Stroll, as well as your teams at the State and Defense Departments. We not only recognize the excellent work you are doing, but we also know how hard it is at the human level to deal with such a crisis. As we hold this hearing, Israel is at war with Hamas, a designated terrorist organization following the worst attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. What we've seen unfold on our TVs and in our newspapers over the last 4 weeks has been extraordinarily painful. It has been extraordinarily painful to watch. Hamas terrorists killed more than 1,400 innocent civilians, women, men, children, elderly, and babies in cold blood. Following this, Hamas has used thousands of Palestinians, including far too many children, as human shields. These images of death and destruction in Gaza, if you're human, they have to haunt you. I know it haunts me, and I will never shake them. Hamas has made it clear to all of us watching that they do not exist to serve the Palestinian people. Hamas does not want peace. Hamas doesn't want a Palestinian state living side by side with a Jewish state. There was a ceasefire on October the 6th, and it was Hamas who broke it in the most terrible way possible. It is Hamas who's holding some of the Palestinian people from getting to the south and other safe places. And so I applaud the Biden administration for working to address the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza brought on by Hamas and their war. You know, Hamas could end this today. Just surrender. And nobody else gets killed. Just surrender. The United States has provided an initial contribution of $100 million and will be providing more upon passage of a comprehensive supplemental bill. We are calling for humanitarian pauses, which would allow humanitarian goods to enter and for civilians to get out of harm's way. And we continue to support the establishment of safe zones where Gazans can seek shelter. We have helped facilitate the movement of life-saving supplies into Gaza through Egypt and are working to increase these deliveries. Ambassador Leaf, I hope you can share with us some additional details about the administration's work to support Gaza's civilians despite the extraordinary challenging conditions. I had hoped also that our body would have taken the matter of funding for Israel and the humanitarian crises unfolding around the world in Gaza with the same seriousness as the administration has, quite frankly. But unfortunately, I don't believe we have. Instead, with the new Speaker, Speaker Johnson, and his leadership, seems to me that last week we played some politics with our national security. Support for funding for Israel, time and again, has been a bipartisan manner that Congress has kept out of politics. And we have given Israel aid without any conditions. It is unfortunate that at this critical time, that has changed. Speaker Johnson brought an Israel-only supplemental to the floor. This supplemental is unprecedented. It conditions aid to Israel on domestic policy objective and stands no chance of passing through the United States Senate. The United States has an indispensable role to play in the world, and I hope for Israel and our own sake that we don't play politics and don't play political games. We must pass a comprehensive supplemental for Israel. It's also interconnected with what we have to do in Ukraine, interconnected with what we have to do for Taiwan. And I would also include our southern border as soon as possible. These issues are connected and should be free of politics. They are about our national security and America's leadership globally. So I want to conclude by raising an issue that the United States, Israel, and other regional partners must address. What does a successful ground operation in Gaza look like, and who will administer the Gaza Strip if Israel's efforts to remove Hamas is successful? So I'm going to be raising those questions. So in the days, weeks, and months ahead, I know the United States will continue to stand steadfastly with Israel to assure its long-term security. We will also, as President Biden has outlined, remain committed to ensuring that civilians in Gaza have access to safe areas and continue to have access to food, water, medical care, and other assistance without diversions by Hamas. We must also stay keenly focused on working to get U.S. citizens and their immediate family members to exit Gaza safely and bring all of our hostages home. So let me end by just saying thank you once again to our witnesses for being here, and I look forward to hearing from you in a short while. I yield back.